Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chitas today, the 6th Monday, the 6th of Adar. We're continuing the second portion of Tetzaveh. Va'asisa mishpatzais zav. You shall make settings of gold. And you can see over here the settings of gold. Let's look at what Rashi says. The minimum of settings is 2. In this chapter, the Torah explains only part of what the settings were needed for. In the chapter of Choshen, their explanation is completed for you. So what was the point of these mishpatzos is going to be explained more in depth later. Ushtei sharshois zahav, and 2 chains. I think you can't see the chains. Let's move a little bit this way. Okay, right here you can see the chain. This is the chain, the golden braided chains. You will make zav tar migvulis tasa isam maisa avois v'nasata es asharshois ha'avoisais ala mishpatzais. So you will make them attached to the edges after the manner of cables, and you like the way cables are made, and you will place the cable chains upon the setting. So maybe there's a picture. There you go. Now you can see how the chain goes into the gold, into the mishpatzites, into the settings. Okay, let's see some of these Rashis. After the manner of cables, in the style of braiding strands, not made with holes and links like those produced for cisterns, but not like those, but like those made for censers, which are called enzeisers in Old French. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next. V'asisa choshen mishpat. Let's look at the choshen mishpat. V'asisa choshen mishpat. You shall make a choshen of judgment. Ma'aseh choshev, the work of a master weaver. K'ma'aseh ephod ta'asenu. You shall make it like the work of the ephod. Zav tcheles v'argamon, with gold, blue, purple, b'seilas shni v'sheish masar ta'asai say, crimson wool and twisted fine linen shall you make it. What is choshen mishpat? What is the choshen of judgment? It atones for the perversions of justice. Another interpretation, the choshen is referred to as judgment because it clarifies its words and it promises. And its promises come true. For the word mishpat has 3 usages. Rashi says there's 3 meanings to the word mishpat. 1, the words of the pleas of the litigants. The verdict, 2, the verdict, and 3, the punishment of the judgment. All 3 of those are processes of mishpat, of judgment. What does it mean, like the work of the ephod, the work of a master weaver, and of 5 kinds of material? Both, that's the common denominator between the ephod and the choshen mishpat is that they're both works of fine weavers and have all of these master weavers and have these same materials to create a similar look. Okay, Ravua yeh kaful zeres arkoi v'zeres rachbai. It should be a square and doubled its length 1 span, and its width 1 span. What does it mean it was doubled? You see how it's folded over here. So the full length is a half a amma by 1 amma. Umlois by miluas evan, and you shall fill it with stone fillings. Let's see. Well, before it has this a golden setting, and then in the golden setting is the fillings of the different stones that we're going to look at for a second. So you 4 rows of stones. Sorry, arba ture oven tur adam pidita uvrekes haTorah echad. 1 row has Adam, Pidita, and Berekes, Thus shall be the first row. Okay, let's look at it. Adam, Pidita, Barekes. That's the first row. Since the stones, let's look at Rashi, since the stones fill the holes of the settings which are prepared for them, the Torah calls them by an expression of filling. Okay, simple. Second row, Vatur Hasheni, Neifech, Sapir, V'Yahaloim. Neifech, Sapir, and Yahaloim. That's the types of stones for the second row. Vatur Hashlishi, Leshem, Shvoy, V'Achlama. The fourth row, Vatur Haravia, Tarshish, V'Shoyham, V'Yashpe. Kishubatz and Zav Yubluim, they shall be set in gold in their fillings. So remember, you have the material background, you have the gold setting, and you have the stone filling. And I'll be honest, I don't know these stones. If anybody knows these stones, I mean, some of them seem like sapphire, sounds like ones that we know, but the rest of the stones I'm not so familiar with. Okay, now let's talk about the engravings of the stones. That's on this page right over here. It's hard to see, I think, in the picture, but I can see it, the different engravings that each stone has. And the stone shall be the names of the sons of Bnei Yisrael. Shteim Esrael Shmeisam Petuche Choisam Ish al Shmoi Tien Lishnei Asar Shevet. Each one corresponding to the 12 Shvatim, engraved on a seal, everyone according to his name shall they be for the 12 tribes. Ish al Shemai, everyone according to his name, according to the order of their tribes. Birth shall be the order of the stones. Odem for Reuven, Pitam for Shimon, and similarly for all of them. So it goes in the order of the way they're born. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehudi, Yisachar, Zvulun, like that. Vasisa ala Choshen Sharshois Gavlus Masei Oiver Zav Tahar. You shall make for the Choshen chains at the edges of the cable work of pure gold. Let's go to the chains. Okay, we already saw it before. Similarly, again, we have chains. We're going to have these little rings that the chains are going to hook up to. As you can see in this picture, how they go through the rings to hold up the Choshen. Let's go inside here. Vasisa ala Choshen shtei taba'is, and you shall make for the Choshen 2 golden rings. Taba'is zav, golden rings. Vanasata shtei taba'is al shtei k'tzeis haChoshen, and you should put the 2 rings at the 2 ends of the Choshen. Vanasata al shtei avois hazav al shtei taba'is al k'tzeis haChoshen. You shall place the 2 golden cables on the 2 rings at the end of the Choshen. So here we have that. Okay, now we're going to see, remember when we talked about the ephod, about the apron, and we talked about how there was a gold thing with strings? Now we're going to see how they go into, how it holds up the breastplate. V'asisa shtei taba'is zav, and you shall make 2 golden rings. V'samta isa al shtei k'tzeis haChoshen, you place them at the 2 ends of the Choshen al sfasai, Ashar al Aver Ephod Ba'isai, on the edge that is towards the inner side of the ephod, right? Don't put them on the bottom, put them at the top, the one that will be able to hang from. Vasisa shtei taba'is zav, and you shall make 2 golden rings. V'nasata oisim al shtei sefis ha'ephod, and place them on the 2 shoulder straps of the ephod. Milamata Mimul Panav Lumas Machbaratai Mimal Lachesha Ephod, towards its front, adjacent to its seam, above the band of the ephod. So you can see in this picture right over here. Let's see if there's right here. These are 2 rings that we also put onto the back of the ephod. Let's see if there's this is going to help. It's going to help keep the whole thing secure. Not just is it held up from the top, it also has rings at the bottom so that the belt can keep, I would imagine, having these stones. They're not tiny stones. They're fairly big stones. To keep them all, straight on your chest, you have it hanging from the top and with the belt going through the rings at the bottom. The yirkesu es a choshen, and you shall fasten the choshen mita ba'osav, by its rings, el tabas ha'ephod, to the rings of the ephod, the psilt chelas, with a blue cord, lias al choshev ha'ephod v'lo yizach ha'choshen me'ala ephod, so that it may be upon the band of the ephod, and the choshen will not move off of the ephod. So to keep the apron and the breastplate sturdy, it was hanging from the top two rings, like we show over here, hanging from those top two rings, but it also had bottom rings with a blue, let's see if there's a picture over here, you can see the blue, what was it called? Chelas, psilt chelas, a blue cord that goes through the bottom rings and keeps the choshen in place. Okay. Vanasa Aaron es shmos bnei Yisrael b'choshen hamishpat, and Aaron shall carry the names of the children of Israel in the choshen hamishpat, in the choshen, in the breastplate of judgment, al liboy, over his heart. B'voyay ala kodesh, when he enters the kodesh, lizikaron lifnei Hashem tamid, as a remembrance before Hashem at all times. V'nasata el choshen hamishpat es ha'urim v'satumim. Oh, let's go to the urim atumim. This picture over here actually shows the strings, the blue strings nicely. That's keeping the rings of the breastplate secure. Okay. Oh, wait, where is the Urim v'Tumim? Oh, here it is. In between, over here, you can see a little something in between. That's the Urim v'Tumim. So let's learn. You should place the Urim v'Tumim. Nasata sachoshen mispevas Urim v'Tumim v'ayu al leva Aaron. You shall place the Urim v'Tumim into the choshen of judgment, so that they will be over Aaron's heart. B'voyay lifnei Hashem v'nasa Aaron es mishpat b'nei Yisrael al libay lifnei Hashem tamid, and Aaron will carry the judgment of the children of Israel over his heart before the Lord at all times. Let's read Rashi about the Urim v'Tumim. This refers to the inscription of the explicit name, the Shem HaMeforash. The Shem HaMeforash was inscribed on the Urim v'Tumim that went into the Choshen HaMishpat, into the breastplate, which Moshe, would place within the folds of the Choshen, through which it would light up its words. It would meir. The breastplate spoke to them. It not spoke, it lit up and thereby gave answers to questions that were asked of it. But it would only do this if the Urim v'Tumim was in between the flaps of the Choshen Mishpat. It's words. The Urim v'Tumim explain their words, and their predictions never fail. This is what Gemara in Yuma says. In the second temple, there was the Choshen because it was impossible for the Kohen Gadol to be missing any of the original garments, but that name was not inside it. So they had the Choshen in the second Beis Hamikdash. The Urim v'Tumim was not there. Because of that name, it was called judgment, as it says, and he shall inquire for him through the judgment of the Urim. So they didn't always have it during the Beis Hamikdash. But when they had it, the Urim v'Tumim was incredible. The judgment of the children of Israel, the solution of the matter about which the Israelites are judging and debating whether or not to do something, according to the Agadic Midrash, that the Choshen atoned for the perverters of justice. It was called judgment because of its forgiveness of the sins of judgment. Can you imagine today if we had a Choshen Mishpat with an Urim V'Tumim in there to tell us right from wrong, the path forward. Unbelievable. See if there's, okay, this next picture is
Do
for
you have any
tomorrow.
idea how much this whole thing weighed?
I don't.
See, it looks very heavy.
Yeah, it does seem pretty heavy. But because it's secured from both your lower back and your shoulders, I think it would have been fine for the Kayin Gadol. Okay, let's continue with today's Tanya. So we're in middle of chapter 31. V'achar kach, it sounds like it was like smack in the middle of a sentence, but v'achar kach yavai lidei simcha amitis. Then he will arrive at true joy. Dahainu, shezois, yoshiv es libay lenachamai b'chiflayim. You're going to come to comfort in your heart, kiflayim with double measure. Achra dvarim va'emes ha'el haniska la'el ha'ela. Achra dvarim va'emes ha'ela haniska la'el. After you tell yourself words of truth concerning your lowly spirit, like we mentioned before, the comfort is dual. Not only is his depression eliminated, but he will also attain a joy which he would never experience were it not for his earlier depression. So once you overcome this aspect of depression, you come to a higher level of joy. Lemar lelibai, let him say to his heart, Emes who came, beli safek. Indeed, without a doubt, shani rachuk ma'od me'Hashem betachlis. I'm far from God. Umeshukatz tayab. I am despicable, contemptible, and so on. Al kol zeh hu ani levadi hu aguf in nefesh achiyunas shabai. But all this is true only of me, of my body and my animal soul. Aval mikol makom yesh b'kirbi chelek Hashem mamish. Nevertheless, I have within me a godly part. That all true. Animalistically, I've done things. That's not me. I mean, it is me of my animalistic part of me. But I also have another part inside of me, and that's my godly part. This is even in the Kal Shabakalim, worthless of my fellows. The Kal Shabakalim, even in the most far person. Shehi nefesh alekis, this is the godly soul. Im nitzutz elikus, mamish, with divine sparks, literally, hamalubish b'alachiyasei, which are invested in it to give it energy. Rakshi hi b'bechinas galus, but it's in exile. This divine soul is in exile, but it's still there. V'imkein adraba, kol ma shani b'tachlis harichok ma'Hashem v'atiu v'shikutz. The further I am removed from Hashem, the more despicable and contemptible. That means that my godly soul is in a greater exile. And the pity for it is even more. Therefore, I will make it my entire aim and desire to grab it out, and to uplift it from this exile, to return it back to its original state as it was in her youth, before it was enveloped into my guf. Which at that time, before it was put down into a guf, it was absorbed in God's light, and it was united with him completely. So v'gamata came. Now too, it is so. Tehei umiyuchedes b'yisbarach. It can be absorbed and united with Hashem. When I concentrate all my aspirations on Torah u'mitzvahs lahalbish b'hem kol eser b'chinoiseh k'niska la'el, to put all my effort to clothe my soul's 10 faculties, as we explained above. Ubefrat b'mitzvahs tefillah, particularly with mitzvah of davening, litzoik el Hashem b'tzarla, to cry out to Hashem in distress, migalusi, from my exile, begufi, the exile in a guf, hameshukatz, begufi hameshukatz, the like a loathsome guf, laitzia memasker, to free it from captivity, ulodavka b'yisparech, and to bind itself to Hashem. So this is what we should tell ourselves. This is what we should strive for. This is what we really could reach to, where we say the things that were the negative parts that we've done, the negative parts that we feel about ourselves, that's not us. Us. The true us. Because the true us, the true you, is the nefesh, is the godliness within you. V'zui b'chinas tshuva. It's a short Tanya today. V'zui b'chinas tshuva u'maisim tovim. This service of Hashem, which one seeks to restore the soul to its source, is referred to as tshuva u'maisim tovim. Let's read this footnote. This is an oft-used Talmudic expression denoting the mitzvahs, like the famous statement, tshuva, 1 hour of tshuva with u'maisim tovim in this world is better than chaya olam haba, than the whole afterlife. At first glance, the juxtaposition of the two seems ununderstood. Tshuva deals with atoning for one's past imperfections, while good deeds are performing in the present, and therefore have nothing to do with the past. So why does it say? It seems like to say 1 hour of tshuva u'maisim tovim. What? Tshuva is about the past, maisim tovim is about the present and future. So why are those two connected? While good deeds are performed in the present and would seem to be so according to the Alter Rebbe's statement, however, that one's performance of the mitzvahs should be motivated by his desire to return his soul to its source within God, the connection between the two is clear. The good deeds themselves actually constitute teshuva, which means return, as the Alter Rebbe continues. So teshuva, actually, when you do a mitzvah, you're doing teshuva in a certain sense. You're returning your soul, or parts of your soul, to be connected with its original source, Hashem. Shehem maisim tovim she'osim kedei lahashav chelek Hashem. This denotes the good deeds which one does with the intention of returning the soul, which is part of Hashem, l'mekoirei v'sharshrei, to its source, the chalamin, to the divine source and root of all the world's godliness. So when we think about this, how every action that we do, even right now, that's the connection between tshuva and maisim tovim. Because maisim tovim that you do right now, in essence, are teshuva, are returning godly sparks to its makar, to its source. And when you think about the fact that however much, however much time was done in not the positive way, all that is got nothing to do with the chelek elokah, with the godliness that you have within you. That cannot be touched. All that says is that chelek elokah is more hidden. The more somebody is a kal shebekalim, is a far from a tzaddik, the more their nitzatz aliki, the godly soul, is more hidden. Does that mean that it's not there? God forbid. That's the true them. That is the true person. And the rest is just what needs to be transformed. It was a pleasure learning with you today. The Tehillim for today is chapters 35 to 38. I look forward to learning with you all week this week. 9 o'clock from